The forgotten seeds, worlds that time left behind. Let me tell you a story. Not about monsters, not about battles, not even about winning. This one's about places, worlds we once knew. Places we stepped into, not realizing they'd become memories. Places that whispered instead of shouted. Places that, over time, disappeared. Today, I want to take you back. Back to the seeds that were removed, forgotten by code, but not by those who lived in them. These weren't just coordinates. These weren't just strings of numbers or letters. They were worlds, stories, moments frozen in pixels. And even though the game moved on, we remember. The first one I ever loved was called Candy Blossom. It was pure warmth. You'd spawn beneath pink skies, in a valley covered in soft petals that floated through the air like feathers. Candy-colored trees lined the winding paths, and every corner felt like a lullaby. No rush, no danger, just calm. I used to meet friends there, build pastel houses, climb the Blossom Bridge, and just exist. It felt like a place where nothing bad could ever happen. But then the world changed. Updates came, new systems, new terrain, and Candy Blossom was quietly removed from the seed list. No announcement, no farewell. It just stopped working. I searched for it once, typed in the code again, waited, but the world that loaded wasn't hers. No blossoms, no pink sky, no bridge, just a silent plain. Then there was Starfall Spires. That one was magical in its own way. You'd spawn at twilight. The sky always looked like the stars were mid-fall, frozen in a soft celestial dance. Giant spires of amethyst crystal rose from the ground like nature's skyscrapers. People didn't build here. They observed. They marveled. It was a seed that made you stop talking in chat. Just stare. Quiet, reverent. But the terrain generator shifted in the next patch. The spires were gone. The stars stopped falling, and Starfall Spires became just another mystery in the void. Frozen Echo was different. This one dropped you into a snowy world with caves that carried sound in a weird, echoing way. It was eerie, haunting, but beautiful. We called it Frozen Echo because when you mined down, you'd hear things. Sounds that weren't supposed to be there. Water dripping, where there was no water. Footsteps, wind. It gave you chills. People told stories about ghosts in the ice. Some claimed they saw shadows that weren't players. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe something more. Either way, Frozen Echo was removed after players reported audio issues. The patch notes were short, adjusted ambient cave sounds. But we knew what it really meant. They buried it. Ember Hollow was another, a volcanic seed. Dangerous, hot. You spawned on the edge of a cracked ravine, lava glowing beneath your feet. Smoke curled in the sky, and ash particles drifted like slow snow. We used to say that Ember Hollow had a heartbeat, that the ground pulsed, that the lava moved with rhythm like it was alive. Hardcore players loved it. You couldn't survive a night unless you were fast, smart, or lucky. But Ember Hollow had a bug. Some said the lava wouldn't cool properly. Structures would burn even when made of stone. The devs called it unstable, so they deleted it, replaced it with cleaner biomes. Safer spawns, but we never wanted safe. We wanted real willow shade. Now that one felt like home. Not flashy, not famous. You spawned in a quiet swamp with thick trees that looked like they held secrets in their branches. The water shimmered green, and there were always fireflies. Always it was the kind of place that made you build slowly, deliberately. You didn't rush in willow shade. You planted, you waited, you listened. There was an old stone well near the center of the map, half covered in moss. No one ever figured out why it was there. It wasn't part of the usual generation. It just was. Until one day, it wasn't. The terrain changed. The fireflies were gone. And the well? Just a patch of grass now. Willow Shade was erased, not by force, but by forgetting. Sunspire Delta was majestic, an ocean seed. You spawned at the meeting point of 3 rivers that poured into the sea, with cliffs carved by the wind and light that hit the water just right every evening. The sunsets were the real prize. We'd gather on the Delta rocks, our avatars sitting, still, watching the golden reflection stretch to the horizon. I once saw someone propose there. No joke. Built a whole stage, invited everyone on the server. It was beautiful. But then the rivers stopped colliding. The ocean lines rerouted. Sunspire Delta vanished. Driftvale Woods was spooky in the best way. Thick forests, mist everywhere. You couldn't see more than a few blocks ahead of you. The trees were gnarled, twisted. Some said they moved when no one was looking. It was the perfect seed for storytelling, for mystery, for horror nights. But then a lighting update came in, cleared out the fog, made the shadows less oppressive. Players complained about the new brightness. Driftvale wasn't scary anymore. It wasn't anything anymore. So we stopped visiting. Then there was Frostline Rift, a glacial biome cut through by a massive canyon that glowed with blue light. You could ride boats along the icy river that sliced through the world like a scar, but the canyon was unstable. Players clipped through the world, boats got stuck, so the devs shut it down. I remember the last time I logged into it. I just stood at the edge of the ice, watching the wind blow through pixelated snow, and I swear I heard something, like the world was saying goodbye. One by one, they fell: Candy Blossom, Starfall, Spires, Frozen, Echo Ember, Hollow, Willow Shade, Sunspire, Delta, Driftvale. Woods Frostline Rift Seeds, gone. Not with a bang, not with fanfare. Just faded, replaced by shinier features, by cleaner code, by progress. But every time I log in now, something feels hollow, like a song missing the notes I used to hum. The new worlds are fine, beautiful even, but they don't carry the same soul, the same quiet magic. They don't feel like ours. You see, these seeds weren't just data. They were moments. They were places we grew in. They were the backdrops to our friendships, our experiments, our laughter, our wonder. And just because the files are gone, doesn't mean the memories are. I still see Candy Blossom in my dreams sometimes. Still hear the wind of Ember Hollow. Still walk the foggy paths of Driftvale, even when they don't exist anymore. Because we were there. We lived in them. And that's what makes them real. So here's to the forgotten seeds, to the lost lands, to the hidden wells and glowing caves, and trees that whispered secrets in code. They're gone from the game, but not from us, because some seeds don't grow in dirt or data. Some seeds grow in memory.